One sec. Tesla. Remember, I send all my buy-sell alerts to course members. So that way, if I open here live stream, I post those. Okay, this went through at 594. All right. Now I am rooting for a bounce. Take a look. Just so you could actually see that I did it. Because I know there's sometimes skepticism. There we go. Tesla order. There we go. Nice. All right. All right. I am hoping that was the bounce. I'm very hopeful. Okay, of course. At the same time, we get a tiny little uptick in the 10-year bond. It's tiny, but it's there. And the market is seemingly trading off that, this kind of behavior. So we'll see. Obviously, we hit some pretty highs today, some new highs here at 1.62. So we shall see. Yes, I pinned the comment with the coupon code. By the way, the coupon code is expiring. I have it expiring on the Ides of March. So the coupon code for the Stocks and Psychology Money Group, it is actually the same coupon code for all of the programs. That expires on anyway. So let's see. Did I just buy at and now we're gonna turn red? I mean, that's not uncommon on my longs. It seems like on my longs that happens. On my trades, I buy and it goes to the moon. Sometimes. So Gap 8%. Bitcoin's almost up $2,000. Nice. Bitcoin, but still shy of that 49,000. Now we were at like 52 yesterday, so we're still down. Seems like the market is trying to bounce though. Let's see. Even United Wholesale, or sorry, not United Wholesale, USO, United States Oil, bounced at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock was a bounce territory. GameStop bounced at 10. Google bounced at 10. Everything's bouncing at 10. Let's listen into this for a moment.
Making its way through Congress. I think as we go out further this year, hopes for more bipartisan support are probably going to be a heavier lift because we're looking at this stimulus that's making its way right now, passing on party lines. So I don't know that there's a lot of goodwill forming in order to pass bipartisan bills down the road. I do think taxes are something that are noticeably absent from corporate and capital gains to likely be higher at some point in the first half of the Biden administration. And that is...
All right, we don't care about taxes right now. The market's crashing in our face. Oh, I had to turn on my air filter. I feel like I'm getting allergies. I don't understand why. I'm in the same room every day.
100 times sales?
Yeah, well, there is extreme.
Do not make fun of the sales at Tesla.
Tesla is just one example of that, I think. You're down 4.5%. All right.
Yeah.
Now, we've got an impressive jobs report this morning. What is it?
All right. Let's get back to the chart here. Okay, so what's happening? What is happening? Let's figure this out. Norwegian Cruise Lines had a bounce, but now it's falling again. Hopefully that air filter is not too loud. Can you hear that air filter? I hope you can't. Yeah, you might be able to. Oh well. You'll have to suffer with it for a moment. So it looks like we've got a little bit of red coming back. It seems like I perfectly timed the little bit of the U-turn there, which is classic. So we've got Norwegian Cruise Line now falling again after bouncing. Oh, man. Come on, you stupid chart. Just go over. Weeble. There we go. All right. Charge point, 13%. Lemonade. Yeah, see, look, we're red candlesticking in. Another false bottom. Well, there you go. Neo, red candlesticking again. Tesla's going to be back into the 580s at this point. Yep, look at that. There goes $8 a share. Oops. Well, what are you going to do? Buy more. Okay. Phenomenal. More discounts. Just what I need. You know, It feels like it's Black Friday, and I'm walking around with credit cards, and I'm like, well, that one's maxed. Well, that one's maxed. Well, that one's maxed. Oh, I still got a little bit of life left on this one. Let's spend some more money over here. I'm sure Tesla's at the bottom. Buy. Beep. It's horrible. Yeah. So, if I buy a long position, usually just wait like 5 minutes and then you get better pricing. So what else here? Gap and Purple are actually holding up. They're holding up. Now, okay. USO, AT&T, Lyft, Berkshire, Salesforce, NASDAQ, yeah, you turning a bit here. What time? Yeah, okay. NASDAQ followed the others, which makes sense. It's about 2 minutes late. Yeah, the NASDAQ was about 2 minutes behind on that. Yeah, Google U-turning too. It's over. Another false bottom. What jerks. How dare you? Can we not respect a bottom? Apparently not. Neo at $36. Oh my gosh. It's getting ridiculous now. Where's Tesla? Tesla, 584. Oh, juicy. Fully broke under our little line there. No respect today. Still at 1250 for Matterport. It's kind of this bobbing that we're seeing here. Weird. Yeah. Okay, tiny little. See, it's just this. It's literally just. Oh, it ticked up a little bit. Sell the stocks. So bizarre. I feel like that connection is going to break. At some point, that connection is going to go away, and we're not going to care anymore about the bond yield going down. I feel like maybe there's just a lot of trader action looking at that connection. We'll just deem it priced in or whatever. Yeah, Bitcoin also selling off a little bit. What? This thing is actually making the room cold now. Hold on a second. Lower that. Oh, man. Woo! That made it really cold. It's like it circulates the cold air even more, or it's just blowing it at me. I don't know. Gotta get them allergens out with the air purifier, which you could also check out by going to metkevin.com/air or metkevin.com/purify. It's the same thing. It just depends which one you want to type in. All right. So let's see. Norwegian. Yeah, Norwegian's just going straight down again. It's literally the market's just worsening before our eyes. Look at Open Door. Down. Yay! Just kidding. Oh, just kidding. Oh, just kidding. Oh, just kidding. Keeps going down this path. Microvision slides 11%. Yikes. NGA is down to 14. Oh, man. Churchill's at 10% today, basically. Whoa. $22. Neo, 36. Oh, it's so low. It's crazy. Fisker is going to be under 20 here soon. Also crazy. Did Square ever go under 200? Oh, almost. Look at that. It bounced at 202. Woo! Close the door before all the money gets out of Open Door. NNDM. See what we got over here. Man, this is a rough ride. Let's work terminal here. So we are Nano Dimension. We're at $7. So let's go. We'll pull up the terminal. Let's see maybe what Fox we can comment on over at Fox. Nothing, just ads. Okay, I'll pull it up in a moment then. Let's see. Getting my little login. Oh, here we go. Let's see what he's saying while I log in.
With the NASDAQ gain of over 100, now we're down 70. The Dow Industrials were up just about 5 points. That was a few moments ago. Now it's up 139. I mean, it's all over the place this morning. Volatility is the name of the game. That being the case, look at the biggest losers on the NASDAQ. We've got a list for you. Headed by American Airlines, for heaven's sake, down at 5%. Look at Tesla, down 5%. Biden.
It is weird that it's kind of like moving with the recovery stocks here.
There's some serious movers to the downside there on the NASDAQ. And there's this. President Biden is sending senior officials to the border. This comes.
It always goes to Paul. It's like, I feel like this is a political channel dressed up as a business channel. It's like, oh, look at the biggest losers. Back to the border. It's kind of like what they were doing yesterday. Oh, look at the Dow. Back to masking. Oh, yeah. All right, Bloomberg's pulling up. We can at least look at the top news here and see what the suits are reading. Okay, well. What do we got? Open Door. Oh, look. Open Door's bouncing. Ha. We've seen that before. Fool me once. Oh, Churchill has bounced. Fool me once. What is it? Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. So where's Tesla? Oh, Tesla's bouncing. But we're on to you. We're on to you. We're okay. Well, let's see. Bloomberg's up here. So let's see what the top news is today over here. Exit. Get out of my way. We got top news to research. Top. Yes. When I wrote in top, did I mean top? Yes. That's unemployment dips to 6.2. I thought it was 6.3. Pretty sure the Financial Times reported 6.3. Not that it really matters. Oh, no, I was wrong. It is 6.2. Okay. But I do want to correct when I'm wrong, so I just did. Stocks fluctuate with treasury yields near 1.6. Yeah. Goldman made $200 million off the deep freeze, at least on paper. It's a deep freeze. Does anybody know what the deep freeze is? Traders are poised for significant profits from the freeze. Oh, wow. From Texas. From the physical sale of power and natural gas. From financial hedges after spot prices surged. Wow. Treasury yields jolted to a fresh worst week since September. That's actually a good comparison. Because September we had a lot of pain. It started after Tesla, what was it? Tesla split. And then Tesla ran like crazy. I think it was a few billion, like $5 billion. And it was almost like popping the needle. Or popping the bubble with the needle. And everything sold off for like 3 weeks straight. Which, remember, February 19th is when this started. And that was a Friday. So, and Feb was a shorter month. So if we, sometimes these things last 6 weeks. Personally, I don't think it's going to last 6 weeks. But it depends on some of the short-term catalysts that we get. NASDAQ 100 is wrapping up for a third week of declines. Shaved off 1.6 trillion of market value from high-flying technology stocks. Okay, we know that. And none of this is particularly new. Companies including Okta and DocuSign were among the top falling stocks, accumulating over 20% declines in the past 3 weeks. Okay, I do want to look at DocuSign. DocuSign under 200 gets more exciting to me. Oh my god, it's right at 200. That's interesting. I swear I did not know it was there. Twitter, it was literally $200. That is scary. Okay. Twitter, if Twitter goes under 60, I get a little more excited. Twitter in the 40s is especially juicy. Twitter in the 40s gets juicy. Tesla is about to hit new lows. Why? It's crazy. Oh man, this bar. Come on. I can grab it. There we go. I know what I'm doing. All right, here we go. Oh, okay, yeah, DocuSign is officially... Wow, Enphase broke 140. 140, it's a bargain. Oh, it's so cheap. It's all so cheap. Churchill's at 22. Tesla's about to break 580. Oh my gosh. Oh, no. Bouncing off 580. 583 right now. Social Capital, IPOE, is selling off at about 6% down, possibly following the sell-off at Virgin Galactic and Open Door after Chamath bails out of Virgin Galactic. We have Etsy at, wow, 186. Broke 190. Ooh, Pinterest solidly under 70. It's so juicy. So juicy. Twitter 64. JP Morgan, I wouldn't touch JP Morgan at 150. That's nuts. That's very high still, in my opinion, for JPM. Let's see here. GameStop. We are very well respecting the box right here. Oh, this is the first break that we've seen in a while on the top box at GameStop. That's exciting. We can get a full clean break over here at GameStop. Woo! That could create some green. AT&T, Lyft, Cost, Facebook, Salesforce, all green slightly. I mean, barely green. But really, it's Norwegian Cruise Lines. Yeah, not hitting the new lows that we had, but it's definitely in pain. Nothing though like Open Door. Open Door is just getting crashed. Nah, that doesn't really work. Crashed. Chamath crashed. That's what's happening here. Oh my gosh. Chamath sells out of Virgin. What's next? Sell everything, Chamath. He's bailing. He's jumping ship. He's a paper hander. Why would you sell so low, Chamath? I don't know. It confuses me. I will look back, and I think I will always think to myself, what? Why? Why'd you do that to Virgin so low? Anyway. Palantir. Look at this. Fat sell-off at Palantir. We are now under $23. In fact, we're about to be under $22. This is so nuts. It's just literally blood everywhere. Kidding me. I am so out of freaking money. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Things are cheaper today than they were yesterday. By a few bucks from the depths of yesterday. Except for Tesla. Because Tesla... Woo! Okay. I gotta make my coffee. I haven't done that yet. Okay. Tesla's trying to come back to the box. Save me. Save me, says Tesla. Tesla says, I hit 579, and I don't like it there. I'm coming back to the box. Alright. Let's see what CNBC has to say. CNBC has to say... I don't know what she's saying. Let's see.
When a SPAC managed by banker Michael Klein finally announced a very much anticipated tie-up with electric vehicle maker Lucid Motors, the market really disliked the terms of that deal. The stock crashed thereafter. Perhaps a warning signal to other SPAC investors. Still awaiting.
That had nothing to do with other SPACs. Where do you get this content from? That had nothing. The valuation change had zero to do with the other SPACs.
In the area. But there's also an interesting dynamic for these names when they fall below $10. And I'm talking those that have either announced the deal and obviously not de-SPACed or...
We already talked about that like 20 minutes ago. Are you all listening to the Meet Kevin show? And now you're going to regurgitate that? If you are, thank you. I appreciate you. We literally talked about that. That's too funny. Okay, so, woo! I don't even know what I want to look at first. I mean, I guess we could go look at the 10-year again. Let's see here. 10. Yes, she is correct that there could be a change of terms, but for like SPAC mergers that have already announced, like the way she said that was kind of implying that, because look, it's all under the headline of SPAC slide, so it's kind of. I think she's painting this a little more broadly. We can listen to it.
Market that we've been seeing in the last few weeks, David.
Yeah, and we'll continue to follow it closely with your help. Thank you.
Okay, they're summarizing. Doesn't matter. So what do we got here? This is the 10. Let's go back. Let's go to 3 days here. Okay, here we go. Oh, we're okay. We've got a little bit of a decline again here. I gotta zoom into the day though. Hold on. There we go. Oh, good. Good. We are below the open now, which is good. That is good. F is such a classic gamer move. I love that. Oh, man. Okay. So, let's see here. Okay. GameStop. Oh, see it? Respecting the box. Always respect the box. Open door 19.21. Wow. Almost. I told you this was going to 19 or 20% down. Like the trend is not your friend. Or yeah, I mean today it's definitely not your friend on Open Door. Oh my God, $35. This is $10 below. This is bargain basement shopping. I mean this is crazy. Gores at $12 even. CCIV 22222. Docu. What's Docu? Yep, DocuSign now under 200. That's nice at these prices. 581. Woo! I like these dollars. The problem is we're literally continuing a downtrend right now. It's not stopping. It keeps going down. Purple, USO, AT&T, NASDAQ, Lyft, BYD, Facebook. I mean, these guys are doing okay. Pfizer, Fox, not really moving. GM, Sprout, Apple. See, Apple, I mean, if we look at Apple over the context of really the last 3 weeks. Let's go to, where were we? The 19th. See, if we go to the 19th. The 19th, Apple was 20-ish right now, 119. It hasn't moved that crazy much. What, 9% or something like that? Okay. All right, let's sort by the losers again here. There it is. Open Door has officially smashed through a 20% loss today. Ouch. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Yeah, it's a super sale. This is like Black Friday happened, and now it's like Cyber Monday, even though it's Friday, I know. But it's kind of like they got a new sale for us, and it's even better than the first sale. See, back in the old school days, they used to do like 40% off on Black Friday, 25% off on Cyber Monday. It's like you'd get the bottom, and then it's like, oh, you missed the bottom, sorry, but you can use the Cyber Monday coupon, and it's just not as good. But now, it's kind of like, society's like, here's 40% off on Black Friday, here's 80% off on Cyber Monday. So it's like you're incentivized to wait. Apple stock split was at 110. Yeah. What was that, like 440 then, huh? That's interesting. GameStop. Oh, GameStop's about to have its first clean break above the box. That's exciting. Look at this. First clean break above the box is coming. Let's listen in, or let's check the top news over here really quick. Bonds still volatile. Let's go to top. Okay, stocks fluctuate. Yes. Yes, we know. Partial extension. Oh, Fed may opt for partial extension of leverage ratio. Interesting. Partial. There's an increased chance that the Federal Reserve extends exemptions from a key regulatory rule for another year in some modified form. Oh, this is what Bank of America is assuming. So in other words, they have no idea. They're just guessing. Okay. Well, if they do that, that'll be a catalyst for the market. A good one. A first full break is about to close at GameStop, above the box for the first time in a bit. Usually it ends up falling right back in, so we'll see what happens. We have our first full break, so good trend there on GameStop. Whereas Open Door is continuing its mad dash to zero, basically. It's literally continuing. I have not seen a sell-off like this in a while. I mean, this is just straight down on Lemonade. It is straight down right now. Oh, then again, there is Neo. Oh, we must be hitting the stop losses now. Look at those red candles. Now we're getting some juice. Oh, yeah. Give me the juice. Wow. Oh, whoa. Tesla's at 572. There goes $20 a share on my buy. Whatever. That's crazy. Woo! How fun. Not really. This is not stopping today. It's like, where's the button? Like, why is it that the suits don't stop the market from falling? With like, let's just turn the stock market off for. Oh no. The suits like it. It's crazy. Microvision goes to 20% down. All of a sudden, it got massive sell volume. Oh, I could go back to sleep. Wake me up in a few days. Wow. Oh, man. $33 on Neo right now. EXPI at 40. Oh, it's also cheap. It's all so cheap, and it keeps getting cheaper. Where's Tesla? Let's track Tesla for a sec. Revenge because of GameStop, right? 571. Wow. Wow, wow, wee, wah. New low. Bouncing.
Is that a situation that can be repaired by year end?
I don't think it's going to be fully repaired. I think we're going to be making a lot of progress in the remainder of 2021.
Okay. Let's listen. Let's see if Fox has anything to say. By the way, make sure to get 38% off with the coupon code below. And of course, the lectures. Okay. Wow. Cool. That little green candlestick we briefly saw at Tesla just turned red. Open door sitting at 22%. Neo 14% now. Wow. That's a big Neo sell-off right here. Palantir could be dropping under 20. Oh my god. Wow. Churchill 20. My gosh. Enphase 9%. 136. Tesla 578. Pinterest 6.57. Little bit of a bounce. We have seen this before. 1037 bounce here. Doing the 1037 bounce. Neo is trying to. Lemonade's trying to at $82. Nano Dimension trying to. Okay. Vroom doesn't even know what's happening. It's just going down. Tesla. Wow. Okay, let's pull. Let's see top news. Do we have anything here? Surge in cyclical stocks is just getting started, they say. Cyclical stocks have more room to run as key outperformers in the S&P 500. This winning status now is partly coming at the expense of tech, but it could be sustained as the reflation rally gives more sectors a chance to shine. It's sort of us getting back out there and spending again. Breakout in cyclicals over tech can perhaps be better seen by comparing the equal weights. All right, here's their chart. Equal weight. Equity tech. Here we go. Oh, I gotta figure out how to put these charts together. This is cool. Financials and tech. Financials, yeah. Financials, industrials, and energy. I'm stealing from the tech. Stealing. They're taking away from tech. They're taking away from Tesla. They're robbing us. Today is worse. It's all getting worse. It's worsening, I say. Jeez. I gotta get some coffee on this. This is intense. Sen's down 1/4. And by 1/4, I don't mean 1/4%. I wish I did. It's literally down 1/4. Jeez, man. Lemonade, 13%. Nano Dimensions, 12%. Neo bouncing a little bit. Little bit of bounce at, hold on, where was it? Yep, the 1037 bounce. Is that going to be the bottom? We have, we still can't find it at Tesla. Tesla still doesn't know what the heck it's doing. Tesla's at 578. There we go. Make that a little more clear. Jeez. Pinterest, 64. Etsy, 183. Oh, it's also cheap. All the ARK funds down 5 to 6%. Woo! Yup, that's pretty much what it feels like right now. Yeah. All right, let's listen into this just for a moment. Let's see what they have to say. I'm going to pull up Bloomberg TV too.
Balanced again. On inflation, I would say, yes, we're likely to see a large increase over the next few months. We're currently at 1.5. We'll get to almost.
But then it'll go down.
But that's driven by pretty short-term factors. We're lapping the big declines of last spring, and we're also getting some more idiosyncratic movements in healthcare inflation. So over the balance of the year, I think that's actually going to probably come down. And by the end of the year, I think we'll be closer to 2% again. And then for 2022, we might actually get some unwind of some of these special factors. So there's quite a lot of noise in the inflation statistics, but over.
Right. Yeah, markets definitely trying to brace.
Here we go, folks. Your number one hedge in today's market. GameStop breaking out of our box for, wow, that's a very nice breakout of our box over here. Very, very nice. GameStop is now up to 151, the world's hedge right now. So GameStop is up 12% in a sea of red. GameStop is up 12%. Wow, wow, wee, wow, it is up. It is doing very well. I like the GameStop, but I don't like the anything else. It's so nuts right now. All right, let's really see the news having much to say right now, though. Let's see what's the Varn's got to say. Oh, wherever that is. Is that Florida? I want to go there. Yeah, it is.
Also a big moneymaker, and after
look how beautiful it looks there right now.
Pent up demand, young people are coming back to the beaches.
Man, I love the Florida beaches. The water's actually warm, unlike California. Man, warm water. All right. Okay, going back to beautiful pictures of sticks. Wow, GameStop. Yay. Neo. Can't find its bottom. Can't find its bottom. Continued pain. Tesla. Also can't find its bottom, by the way. Going straight down, too. You know, I would say it's time to go on a vacation, but the problem is, with how much stocks are falling, we don't have money to go on a vacation. So even if we wanted to go on a vacation to get away from stocks, we can't. Because, you know, when Northern Genesis hits $13.80, you know it's a bad day. Oh my God. Lemonade, 13%. Ay. Palantir, 21.5. Not at the bottom today. But, oh, yeah. Well, Churchill's at the bottom. Churchill just hit a new bottom. Man. All right. When is this ad going to end? It knows that you've tabbed. There's no way. We could trick this. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to take you with us. Oh, I can't. Well, fine then. I'll take... Oh, okay. That's fine. I do want to look at these sticks here. But I also... All right. Now you're just being annoying. Oh, we're in the same spot. There we go. You can play your ad over there. Enjoy the corner. In the meantime, I will enjoy losing money. Oh, man. Your boy Kevin just lost lots of money. Yes. Precisely. Okay, let's see what...
Americans apparently are buying more clothing once again. So Gap is getting a boost today because they want to look good going back to work in person and back to school. And we know that Gap is recovering and forecasting a recovery in apparel sales. Now,
understand what the other one is up to.
It's a commercial.
Sales than what Wall Street had forecast. Still, though, you had a huge jump in bacon demand, up by 45% in the quarter. That was interesting. More shopping online as well, almost doubling. And let's get back to the correction for the Nasdaq that we're seeing, down 10% from recent peaks. But then take a look at these bear markets for a lot of these big tech names. You know, Apple's down again today. Nvidia selling off sharply once again.
I wish
Tesla, wouldn't you say, Stu, is probably the biggest loser right now? I think we're closing in on almost 40% down for Tesla from its $900 peaks.
Thank you.
Yeah, last time we checked, we had Tesla way under $600 a share.
580,
it was down 6%. That was moments ago. So you're right. I think as of now, from its recent highs, $900.
Yet sales of bacon are going up at Costco because Daddy's got to bring home bacon from somewhere. Maybe not the stock market, but Costco. That could be an ad.
This one's for you. Chipotle. Remember that story that it just popped up on my printer, on my teleprompter here?
Yeah.
Chipotle getting into the Middle East.
I know you loved your lip gloss, so it might be for you.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I'm just going to tab away from that one and pretend I did not just hear about Chipotle avocado makeup or guacamole makeup. I'll pretend that. All right. We are well, it's still here, but it's potentially softening, is it? I don't know. We've seen so many bounces here. It's been ridiculous. It's been so ugly, disgustingly ugly. But it's a perfect time to go shopping. We should go do a little bit of that. Where's Tesla? I mean, this is by no means a potential bottom. Yeah, we just have to mouse it up. Exactly. Shout out to AlexJon3s in the course. Just have to mouse it up. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I haven't started. Oh my gosh, Pinterest just plummeting here. We are at 755 or 7.6 down right now. No sign of this really slowing right now, which is crazy. Let's look at the 10-year. What's causing it? Certainly the volatility in the 10-year is not helping. Okay, let's go to the 1 day. The 10-year Treasury trying to get back down under that 1.5. We're at 1.55. Wow. This is something else. Okay. Well, let's see here. Weeble says, survey says, Lemonade is down 12.45%, bouncing a little bit. Open Door bouncing a little bit, but potentially turning red again. A little bit of a bounce over at Churchill, but we've seen this before. It's literally been all day. We get a little bit of a bounce. Let's see what the juiciest stocks are out of all of them. Let's do that right now. So we'll just do, you know what we'll do is we'll cheat. This is very, very lazy, what I'm about to show you. But it's fun to do. All right. So let's compare losers. Hey, let's compare. Okay. So let's compare Tesla and Palantir. So Palantir has actually sold off more than Tesla. Down about 11. Well, that's today. Let's go to the last 6 months. Outperformed Tesla in terms of being the biggest loser. Fascinating. But this is going to be a way for us to see potentially which are the most discounted. See, Etsy, I don't think is anywhere close to these losses. Etsy, over the same period of time, I mean, 20% is still something over a month. But it's not into the 30s like Tesla and Palantir over the last month. Let's do, what's another one we want to compare to? Neo. Neo's down the most. Wow, 38%. Biggest fat discount there on Neo. So Neo's getting more discounted than Tesla is right now. Ugh. I don't know, it's something like Google. Open Door? Google's done okay. Open Door? Yep, open. Open Door. Tesla's exceeded Open Door. Square, that's a good one. Let's try Square. Square is actually not horrible on the month. Let me see. SFT. Oh, that's not that one. Okay, let's SFT. No. There we go. SFT. Oh my god. Is it at 748 right now? That's crazy. It's basically after once earnings come around. That is so crazy. This is some big old losses. Okay. Well. What else? Let's look at DraftKings. DKNG. DraftKings down 10% on a month. Virgin 2%. Wow. Whoa. XBang? It's a good one. XPEV. 43%. Wow. This is just wreckage. I can't really compare on CCIV or GHVI here because some of them just SPAC'd 10 months ago. Or I'm sorry, 1 month ago. MVIS over a month is actually only down 3%. So that's why it's like some of the things feel like a big discount, but then when you look relatively, they've been at some of these prices recently. Microsoft 6%. What did I just write in? Oh, do Apple? Apple's actually right here, 13% over a month. Jamie, Zombound, buy some AMC. Oh my gosh. For the new SPACs won't work here. Clove, I think Clove 47%. That's pretty high. Yeah, I mean in terms of like relative declines here, let's look at Redfin. Redfin over the last month, 26%. So it looks like the biggest losers right now, if we look relatively, over the last 30 days, are Palantir 34%, Tesla 31%, Redfin 26%, and then Neo 37%, and Xpeng around 42%. Yikes. Amazon, that's a good one. We did look at Apple. AMZN. Amazon being down 12% over a month. Not that bad. See, Apple, Amazon holding up compared to like Tesla. Oh, man. Okay. Norwegian slammed for pricing in their bond. Oh, and then, of course, it goes to commercial. Fine. Sens is no longer down a quarter. Okay, Spark lines are up right now. Spark lines have moved up. Or is this another faux bottom? How low must we go? How low can you go? Okay. We got a bottom here. Here. You know what we got to do? Hold on, I know what we got to do. First, we fix the chart. And then, all right, we're gonna look for like something thematic. Yeah, something like this. You know, just nice and soft in the background, not too loud, not too loud, Kevin. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I like this. So let's. Neo is down 9.7%. Trade Desk is down 9.7%. Palantir down 9.5%. Churchill Capital at $22, up from lows, but also down dramatically. Redfin down 7.17%. Etsy down 6.9%. Tesla down at 579, trying to recover from its low of 5.7. Yeah. On the other hand, then we have GameStop. Let's talk about GameStop. Where's GameStop? GameStop, a breath of fresh air. Even though it went right back into its box, it's still up today. It's still up 5.7%, now 6%. So if you want tendies, just go to GameStop. Gap, also up 7.6%, holding steady throughout most of the volatile day and the rest of the market. Bitcoin, also a sign of relief, where you could get up to $250 if you sign up for BlockFi, depending on how much money you deposit. And you'll get paid interest on your money. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so, I mean, that works. So, I mean, we basically just got a market update. All right. Realistically, though, here, it looks like Lemonade just dropped another % here. So this is what we want to be careful of. These U-turns. We keep getting these runs for 5 or 10 minutes and then a dump. Like, can the audience please answer these questions here? J Dav says, did Kevin sell Tesla? And Yashin says, did you sell CCIV? Can the audience please enlighten the members here, the YouTube chat members, which is different from the course members. Which remember that course coupon code does expire on March 15th, so check that out. Link down below. Get 38% off. I will be live in the private live stream in an hour and 5 minutes, and we will be answering your questions directly. Thank you for answering that. Okay, NGA. We are bouncing a little bit here. It's like another little minor maybe fake out bounce here. You gotta be so careful. These bounces have been such fake outs. See, look at that. CCIV going right back into the gutter here. Woo. Jeez, so much pain right now. So Neo, Enphase, dip. C3 AI, 9% today. Oh. Matterport, 12.19. Oh, it's so cheap. Tesla is sitting at 578. DocuSign, whoo, it's actually recovering. dark red has no, dark red is going back down. Dark red is trying to red candlestick again. Even Norwegian, yeah. Ay. Okay, where is Bloomberg? Let's see what they have to say. What do they have to say for themselves? Oh, of course, nothing, an ad. What does CNBC have to say for themselves?
Post-COVID FX markets, it's the talk of many of my sources. Why? Well, it's not only because the dollar's a reserve currency and we're going to have over 200% debt to GDP, but how does the crypto world affect the reserve currency ultimately? Do you see our central bank or government turning over control of the foreign exchange markets to crypto? Somehow, I just don't think so.
All right, Rick. Thank you. Rick Santelli this morning. Coming up, we're going to check in with IMAX.
All right. Let's go back. Well, what do we got over here? Just music at Bloomberg. That doesn't sound good. Are we going to be able to sustain this bounce? That's the question right now. Will the Norwegian... Honestly, Norwegian bouncing like this is a good sign. We did have a big bounce over here. But when Norwegian bounces, so far in the day, other things tend to follow. GameStop breaking out above the line again. We've almost got a full breakout candlestick here. I'm not in this, but this one just gave away all of its gains in the day here, pretty much. But this seems to pump at open. Like, it'll be... the worst time to buy that stock is at market open. Facebook, American Express, Slack, Salesforce... Microvision, come on, please tell me it's over. I just want to know it's over. Can like God come down right now and just go, Kevin, it's over, and we just need some wait, Kevin, it's over. Yeah, that's what we need. Why aren't you continuing to buy the dip? Well, I did. I bought a little bit earlier, but I'm going bankrupt here, man. I got no money left. I do have some money left. That's not true. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting now because I've been faked out by these. Look at this. Over here, it'd be like, oh, support, buy. Nope. Oh, support, buy. Nope. Oh, support, buy. Nope. Oh, right? Like, the pattern so far has been pretty crappy. And so that's why I'm a little slower right now with my buying, because we are just having this consistent downtrend. Tesla, on the other hand, though, this could have hit its bottom right here. But then again, I mean, we saw that over here too. But this is a consistent uptrend right here. You know, even the 20-day moving average doing a nice solid move to the upside here. Whereas before we were just still in this free fall. It was almost like taking a break and then continuing to free fall. We're actually inflecting up here. Oh, but see, you can't talk too soon on these because the red candles, they just keep coming back. It's rough day. I want to go shopping because some of these things are dirt cheap. Shift, oh my God, $7. It's just nuts. Oh, what are they saying here?
Wall Street and Squawk Alley is live.
Tech Tumult, that's what they're calling. Well, we can't play their music, so we'll play our own music.
Here we go. Come on, push it. Buying the dip.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, they're just doing a bunch of B-roll over here. Do you think the EEV sell-off is more dramatic because the sector has been disproportionately hyped and inflated compared to the rest of the market in recent months? It's certainly been more hyped in recent months, yes. Yes, potentially. I think it deserves that hype, though. So, it's more of a discount for me. No, they're just playing. They're literally just gonna play a music show here. Okay, what's Varney doing? Varney doesn't play music.
Friday.
I don't have to worry about music at Varney's show.
What a turnaround for the markets. We now have the Nasdaq down about 180 points. That's 1.4%. Very strong jobs report earlier this morning, but yet look at this. The yield on the 10-year Treasury moved up actually to 1.6%. It's backed off a bit from there, but that rising long-term interest rate structure, that upset the Nasdaq in particular, which is way down. That's the state of...
Take a look at this. Bonds jumping again. Look, we dropped below the open, but again jumping. And this is why the market is being so tenuous. and why these red candlesticks just keep coming back. We can't bounce. We literally cannot sustain a bounce. The stocks are just, see? Can't sustain it. Now the 20-day moving average is flattening out. All right, folks. I'm going to be live with the course members in 58 minutes to answer all of your questions. So I would love to see you there. Use that expiring coupon code HODL. You'll get 38% off. That does expire in less than 2 weeks. The Ides of March is coming up. It'll be here before we know it. So check that out. Use that coupon code. And folks, hopefully within the next hour, this is just ends and we just go to the moon. That'd be nice. All right, folks. I can dream, right? We'll see you in the next one, folks.
Great dumpster fire cell. Oh, is he done? Oh. Is he over? I like his guess he's done.
Hello, everyone. What a crazy week or two we've had here. So I'm breaking our tradition of doing a YouTube video on Employment Day and doing it midway through. We want to be...
It would be very easy for him to take that job over, get the party back on the right track, make the party what it should be, which is the party of social conservatives and the working class. That combination is going to win in the United States, and go make some good endorsements, pick the people. And look, he can go pick whoever he wants, and they will go to office, and they will fight for him. They'll be loyal to his agenda. Pick those people, President Trump.
Follow this.
Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Oh no. Take to the hills as powerful quakes trigger tsunami. From the solar flares, we got massive energy, 50, 80 GW. From that, we get earthquakes, and then the volcanoes waking up. Now my question is, what will the volcanic dust cause? It was like global warming, which then causes extreme weather.
It's not global warming, it causes a carbon only, which blocks out the sun for a long time.
Yeah, I'd say that's a better answer than global warming for sure, because yeah, when your sun gets blocked, it gets cold.
Right? It doesn't get cold.
Hawaii. No, Guam and Hawaii are literally volcanoes. Guam is a volcano top, you know.
So is Iceland. You know that?
The whole thing is a volcano? Guam, the whole thing is a volcano.
Whole thing.
Really? That's scary.
All of Iceland is a volcano. You didn't know?
No, I thought it just had volcanoes. I didn't know the whole thing was a volcano.
Yeah. And it's not like all the
Because
Iceland
Hawaii, the whole thing's not a volcano, but it does have volcanoes.
Yeah,
Look,
well,
Oklahoma.
Iceland's just a volcano.
An M2.0.
Look at this cute dog.
Too cute.
Yeah? This turns out.
I'm not the cop of the house.
Dun, dun, dun.
You're listening to The American Journal with your host, Tom Pappert. Watch it live right now at band.video.
About far more than he's wrong.
He's not saying things that are as crazy as he comes off.
Yeah, that's what I've always said. This is the problem with banning people from social media, banning people from these platforms, whether it's YouTube or whatever. Like, you don't leave any room for redemption. You don't leave any room for people to grow and learn. Well, then you're not talking about humans, because we all grow and learn. I mean, if you're saying this is crazy, this is literally what being a human is about. If someone looked at Alex's his work, like what he's actually shown to be true in terms of like actual real conspiracies, Epstein, he was okay to go. Alex detailed all of that. Like he was the head of all this stuff. He was talking about how they have these places where these elites go, and they compromise them with underage girls and even in some cases underage boys. And I remember thinking, like, this sounds like crazy. King Island
is that corporate media will tell you there's no evidence for elite pedophilia.
Right.
No evidence.
No evidence.
None?
Yeah,
okay.
None. And then on top of that, how about the fact that the guy dies in jail in the most preposterous of ways? And, you know, you don't think there's maybe a conspiracy that someone murdered him in jail? Of incredibly rich, powerful people and took them to this fucking island. Factually, absolutely, provably true. Impossible to deny. Without a doubt.
Uncensored look at Joe Rogan. Sorry to the TV stations out there. We are joined now by Patrick Howley, senior reporter at nationalfile.com. And Patrick,
I've come with my own F-bombs.
You come, but we won't use them.
No,
we'll keep them bleeped. So you had a tremendous victory last time about a mother who essentially lost her child because she refused to wear a face mask. And now the opposite has happened. So tell us a little bit about first talk about the heartbreaking story and then talk about the resolution.
It's a very serious situation, but can I smoke my Red Arabic victory cigar? my victory vape?
Your victory vape. I mean, this would be the time.
Yes, no, it's a good situation. You know, Judge Dale Cohen has now recused himself after the pressure from our report, after we published the article and the audio showing him railing against the anti-mask people and cutting children off from their mothers if the mothers are caught without a mask. There was a mother who was caught at the beach, not social distancing. There was a mother who, in one Facebook photo, wasn't wearing a mask, and so he suspended her parental time-sharing agreement with her son. And so now, with Judge Cohen recusing himself, the mother feels that she has a second chance at getting her son back, reuniting her family. And this is, you know, even though this is only one case, it's a big deal that somebody like recused himself based on pressure from us.
Right.
And this sets a precedent that, you know, if these judges feel that they're going to get ethics complaints against them, you know, they are going to, you know, they're going to start losing power a little bit.
That's right. And we've got this audio, and I mean, it was absolute. Go ahead and play clip 1, and people can see exactly what this judge said about a woman who, again, her only offense to His Royal Highness Fauci was that she didn't wear a mask in a Facebook photo. Let's go to video 1. What you were about to hear is audio of Broward County, Florida Circuit Court Judge Dale Cohen, who was in a custody case that Cohen presided over. Melanie did not wear a mask in a photo posted to social media. Judge Cohen used the photo to justify imposing new restrictions on Melanie's time-sharing visits with her 14-year-old son, an asthma sufferer who must now wear a mask while in Melanie's presence. Melanie later gave up her fight for custody due to Judge Cohen's hatred of her agreement with her son's father. Melanie's case is not unique. National File has obtained court records from another case in which Cohen totally blocked time-sharing for a mother of a less than 2-year-old child. The mother was accused in a court document of not wearing a mask. Here is what Judge Cohen had to say about Melanie Joseph.
I believe that your client poses a danger to the child. She's first of all, her credibility is very low. I don't believe a lot of what she testified to. She's one of these anti-mask people, and she's got the audacity to put that on social media that she's an anti-mask people. And to expose the child to a flight to North Carolina and risk the child's health over that is not acceptable to me. The 7-hour being in the middle is not acceptable either. The mother took it upon herself in violation of the relocation statute to just pick up and move, because it talks about a parent moving, not a child moving, and she needed to file the relocation be quarantined before she sees the child, but she's going to have to be supervised because I don't trust that she's not going to wear a mask. The social media picture of her with the gun is very disturbing. This whole thing is disturbing, and the father shouldn't be inconvenienced by the mother's actions. So I have no problem with the child speaking to the mother on video every night for 10 minutes. They can set up a convenient time, 7, 7:30, 8, whatever they pick. That's fine. If the mother wants in-person time sharing, it's going to be in Broward County. She's going to come down, and she's going to pay for a supervisor, and she's going to wear a mask. And if she doesn't, the time sharing is not going to happen. When this pandemic is over, and there's no cases, and there's a vaccine, and there's proof, well, the father will get a vaccine for the child, but the mother's going to need to get a vaccine as well. And when I have proof that everybody's safe and the child's not at risk of danger, then we could talk her time sharing suspended.
And Patrick, there are so many insane things that flew out of that cretin's mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, children have not died due to this disease. Children have died because they wear a mask to PE class and their lung explodes.
Yeah, or they kill themselves because of the isolation, and yeah.
Exactly. So there's that. There's this, the fact that she open carries in Florida, a very Republican state. She wasn't wearing a mask, and so therefore it's deeply disturbing. A 10-minute video call every night at a time that they will decide. I mean, this guy is... Does he understand where he lives, that he's in Florida? What is the deal with this judge who has now thankfully recused himself from this woman's case?
Well, it's so obvious that he doesn't speak to anyone outside of his social circle. You can tell how flabbergasted. She's one of these anti-mask people, and she has the audacity. I mean, it's like, this is the kind of guy who probably watches Stephen Colbert's entertainment. This is the guy who thinks MSNBC is the only channel. He probably reads the New York Times in the morning, and that's thing that certain elites, that these they have almost limitless power now if they become a circuit court judge. Right. And this guy was appointed by Jeb Bush. So it's completely insulated from reality. They have no sense of what's going on in the country outside of their own elite circles. And these people need to be held accountable because right now we don't have checks and balances on judges. Right. And so the check and the balance on activist judges is the media.
That's right.
The real media, not the fake Jake Tapper media.
That's right. Not the media this judge watches every night. Right. Stand up to them. They crumple. They fall over. They fall flat. They recuse themselves from the case, and hopefully this guy is going to be recusing himself from a lot of cases as more mothers are willing to step forward, because it's an absolute disgrace, Patrick. I mean, and it's what we saw with the election. It's a judge taking America into their own hands. It's a judge deciding who is and who is not fit to be a parent. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm glad this little loser is continuing to lose. I don't know how you can recall a loser, but he needs to be recalled. He needs to be out of there. This guy should have no power over anyone. He shouldn't have power over a drive-through window. We'll be right back with Patrick Halley on the other side.
Humanity.
Professor, can you speak specifically to that divide that we're seeing in certain groups, whether it's Black and Hispanic unemployment? And again, it's worth noting, while we got the
details, passport information, flight manifest.
Palantir doesn't talk much about how they collect this data, who has access to it, or what they do with it, but they have contracts with
the Department of Homeland Security and the CIA and the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission
and several other federal agencies. It's the richest company you've never heard of, valued at $20 billion. But there are plenty of obscenely wealthy people in Silicon Valley. What makes him different...
He's a complex ball of multiple contradictions.
Take college, for example. Even though college was extremely important for Thiel, there's something called the Thiel Fellowship.
In exchange for dropping out and a promise not to pursue college, Thiel would give them $100,000 each.
You basically tell people that
If you get a diploma, you're saved. Otherwise you go to hell. You go to Yale or you go to jail.
Also, his relationship with the press.
Here's another contradiction. He's donated to free press initiatives, including the Committee to Protect Journalists.
But he also secretly spent publication of a sex tape and bankrupting the independently run Gawker Media. Why did he do this? Because in 2007, one of Gawker Media's blogs, Value-Ag, outed him as gay. And with the lawsuit, he
found an opportunity to get back at them by funding the lawsuit that Hulk Hogan was able to bring then, but he wouldn't have been able to do that without
Donald Trump.
When he was asked about his support for Trump, he was surprised at the outrage that came with it from many of his colleagues in Silicon Valley. He didn't want more of the establishment.
No matter how crazy this election seems, it is less crazy than the condition of our...
Pivoted to Trump, donating $1.25 million to Trump and his associated super PACs in October 2016. And he didn't just help Trump financially. He gave a full-throated keynote speech supporting Trump at the Republican National Convention.
I'm not a politician, but neither is Donald Trump. He is a builder. And it's time to rebuild America.
And when Trump was finally elected, Thiel was given the reins to an enormous amount of power.
And I want to thank him, and you have a very special guy.
He was named the transitional advisor. And in that role, he did a lot of interviewing and a lot of vetting to fill hundreds of cabinet positions and different jobs within the administration.
But it turns out, Thiel's support isn't unconditional.
Talking to people who spend time with him, I have also heard that he is no longer a great supporter of Trump.
It was reported that Thiel was unhappy with the direction of Trump's presidency. Ever since, he's been mum, making no public appearances, no statements, and staying out of the spotlight altogether. Although there have been suggestions that Trump could tap Thiel for a top intelligence post or ambassadorship, there's no indication he'd accept.
He's described his relationship with politics as schizophrenic. He gets really involved, and then he runs away as fast as possible.
Whether Thiel takes a new position or simply continues as a board director at Facebook and Palantir, at just 50 years old, he's primed to wield some serious influence in technology and politics for decades to come.
on record, and the previous 17 years have seen our 16 most scorching. Scientists overwhelmingly agree. Global warming is the culprit. And it's just getting started. Ice caps, extreme weather, wildfires, droughts, and the hits keep coming. What are we doing about it? Into accord in Paris. But now comes the hard part. Nations must change energy policies and invest huge amounts of money, and they will without the United States. President Donald Trump announced on June 1st that the U.S. would withdraw from the accord.
The reality is that withdrawing is in America's economic interest and won't matter much to the climate.
Here's the situation. Decades in the making, the Paris Agreement united the US, China, and more than 190 other nations in a push to limit fossil fuel pollution. The UN-sponsored plan secured pledges to cut greenhouse gases, the emissions that trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, predict. But even if all pledges are met, the globe is expected to warm by as much as 3.4 degrees Celsius this century, more than the UN target of well below 2 degrees. Meeting the Paris Agreement means that governments will have to offer more incentives for clean energy, scale back support for fossil fuels, make emissions more costly, and reduce deforestation through 2030. Here's the argument. Unlike past climate pacts such as the Kyoto Protocol, each country set its own Paris targets and then promised to revisit and improve them. The US was primed to play a lead role in climate change, but Trump's Energy Independence Executive Order reverses Obama-era rules and directives put in place to combat climate change, and expands production of coal, the dirtiest fossil fuel. The resulting policies threaten the global fight against climate change. Without the US commitment to emissions reduction, other countries may join it in abandoning the Paris Agreement. This could make it almost impossible and even more expensive down the line to stop climate change. Optimists argue that the shift to a lower carbon future is already underway. Businesses, cities, and US states, such as California, are already investing in wind and solar. If you can believe it.
The old plugin.
There's an inherent attraction to light and being human. And I think on a very deep psychological level, light is this way in which we experience the energy surrounding us in a very personal manner. My name is Matt Dilling. I'm the founder of Light Bright Neon Studio, and we manufacture, produce, and restore neon works of art and design. Origins of the creative content of a lot of the work at Light Bright comes from a variety of sources. Sometimes people come with a napkin sketch, some people come with an Adobe Illustrator file, and we have a whole design team who then we kind of work together to help create layouts of what it might look like. Scale it up and create a paper template using a pen plotter. And that paper template actually becomes our guide for what we're going to bend the neon to. We take from the office into the glass shop. We pick out the right size tubing with the right color for the right size project. From there, we heat up the glass tubing. The torches heat the glass well in excess of 1,000 degrees in order for it to get into its molten state. We heat up and bend the glass tubing to match the template. One of our chandeliers has over 100 different bends in it. So each one of those bends has to be marked for a heated up bend. We also have to allow the glass to cool between the bends so that the next area can be worked on and heated up in its own unique fashion. It turns into spaghetti, and then we have to make sure that that spaghetti lines back up and cools to the template. We use a blow hose to connect our mouth to the tube, create a volume that's closed, and we can control the pressure in there with our mouth. There's just a variety of challenges that come up inherently in working with glass. Glass can crack due to stress, and sometimes you'll just have a batch that all it wants to do when it gets near a torch is crack. After we've bent various components, we have to go in using the crossfire or the hand torch and actually weld all of those pieces together. The last step on that is then to weld on electrodes onto either end. Each one of those steps is very, very specific. I draw inspiration from so many different experiences. It's hard to come up with one thing that's particular, but one of the ways that I really am able to connect with the creative is to float. Floating is a similar experience to meditation, to psychedelics. Going into a blackened room and laying out in a body of water and salt that's heated to your body temperature, and it allows for all sort of external stimulation to fall away. And your internal world really begins to bubble up and manifest. You really get to experience a different relationship to your mind. I think I work with neon because I can't not work with it. It's so challenging and so rewarding. And those things are so intertwined that there's no way of separating it out. I learn so much and continue to learn so much by working with it. I find so much inspiration in working with it, and I just continue to experience new and different things through the medium. It's that close to me at this point. Once the neon tube is completed, we have to hook it up to our manifold for bombarding. The manifold is opened, a vacuum is drawn. We check the tube for leaks with our Tesla coil. We close the tube back off, and we heat it up using a very large and powerful transformer. As the tube is heated up, it releases anything that's not inert inside the tube, and we evacuate that out. We introduce the gas into it. and we seal the tube off, sealing into that tube whatever gas we introduced into it. I think my favorite part of making a neon light is when I see it lit up for the first time. Different gases, when electrified, emit different wavelengths of light. Neon gas is this very bright orange, fiery red color. Argon gas creates a very intense blue, but that light output that is produced can then be expressed in a different wavelength by coating the inside of the tubes with a phosphor coating that takes that one wavelength of light and emits a different wavelength. We bring it over to the aging table where we hook it up to an age-in transformer and allow it to settle, age the gas in that we've introduced to it. There's always a stray particle of something left inside the tube. But that time that the oxide coating can act to scrub whatever is left inside the tube while things are getting settled into place. Once the tubes are aged in, we move on to our process of assembling two halves of the fixture together in a jig, gluing up the center of the fixture to its spindle. Once the adhesive dried, we would connect the wires from the fixture together into a transformer, and we turn on power and it lights up. Part of what we love about what we do here is that we try and put out into the world the kind of things that we'd like to see. I still am surprised when it lights up. I'm still excited when I get to see it illuminated. There's an ineffable quality to it. To me, it is this insight into the inner workings of the universe. It literally is. It's a way of looking at what is surrounding us in the cosmos in a new light.
like an addiction. You've got to make something, you have to do something. It's borderline obsession. And every bike we build is my favourite bike at the time, and as soon as it's done, I want to build another one. Sven Cycles is something I've been thinking about ever since I started cycling in my late teens. We want bikes that ultimately you'll really enjoy riding. There's never a bike that's the same. There's always a slight change. And as we build them individually as well, they have the marks of a bike that's built by hand. Most people I know cycle have an idea of their dream bicycle. And it may be an evolving idea you've had in your head. And we've worked with a lot of people that have come to us with sketches and scrapbooks. It's really, really nice to build something that's just one-off and unique. I think a lot of people see a bicycle as two wheels and a frame in the middle. There are a lot of subtle changes and nuances in design which can change the riding characteristics quite dramatically. I'm a really big fan of modernist architecture, and the simplicity of a modernist building is really hard to achieve. And with some of our bikes, they may look very simple, but I think people should not underestimate the time and effort that goes into designing a product. Tubing is key to a bike's feel and ride. Reynolds tubing has been in my life ever since I can remember. Growing up, I could never afford a frame manufactured with their tubing. We can now put a badge on our bike saying manufactured at Reynolds, which is a sort of thing as a kid I just wouldn't have believed was going to happen. Every part of the bike has a specific tube. It's not universal. The first thing we do is get the tubes out, check they're correct, check the wall thicknesses, sand the edges, make sure it's all really clean, because if it's not clean, the tubes won't join together correctly. We build in steel because I still believe it's one of the best materials to use. It's been used in bikes since the late 1800s, and they're still using it now for a very good reason. It's the flexibility that we can replace the tube, repaint the bike, and you wouldn't know it's damaged. I just like working with it. It's very sculptural. This isn't sort of aerospace precision engineering. It's a steel rule and a marker. So when we're cutting the tubes, it's within a mil or two. But what we're trying to do is take the best from bicycle building in the past and add a little bit of modern flair to it. There's various techniques for building bicycles. We do a thing called fillet brazing, where you connect a pipe together. We use a bronze rod and a flame. We heat the tubes up to the same temperature and we fill the joint with bronze. And it gives a very, very sort of fluid, lovely, sort of quite sculptural feel. You've got to practice, you've got to be able to judge material temperatures, you've got to just look at it and you just get a feel for it. It's the stage where your tubes start to look a bit like a bicycle. Father's a jeweller. He'd make sort of very pretty things, which are lovely, but for me, they don't really have any function. What I love about bicycles, you can start on a Monday with a box of tubes, and you can be riding it by the weekend, and it can last you for the rest of your life. Outside of the frame and forks, the other most important part is the wheels and tyres. When you build the wheels, you have to lace them, so there's little holes going all the way around the rim. You poke the spoke through. We do build all our wheels by hand here because a machine can't get 30 years worth of wheel building experience. Colour is very, very personal. With any of our bikes, you can have them painted whatever colour you want. We've matched one to a teapot, so we can get that scanned and we can match that, or someone's favourite item of clothing. I like to let the bike sit for 4 or 5 days minimum, just so the paint can have time to cure a little bit, and then we assemble it. We get out all the new components, and it's a case of putting them together. Some bikes you can assemble in 3 hours, some will take 3 days. And we've built bikes that cost in the £10,000 plus mark. Some people, they're saving up and this is their bike and they're going to own it for the rest of their lives, so we just want to make sure they get the right thing. I think the bike for me was the first time I had some freedom, so as soon as I had one I was off. A lot of people still get that thrill as when they were a kid blasting down a hill, wind going through their hair. It's fun. Everyone has their favourite jacket or something that just makes them feel good. If you've got a bike that fits well, you actually feel part of it. Building bicycles as a creative outlet is fantastic. It's not something you do because you're going to get a big paycheck at the end of the day. You do it something you have a passion for it.
If you ever saw a wooden surfboard, it was probably hanging in somebody's house or underneath the deck. But kind of in the last 10 or 15 years, wood has made a big comeback. They surf wonderfully. It's beautiful and it feels great to be on one of them. I always had a love for wood and kind of passionate about things that went in the water. I've kind of been around wooden boats most of my life. There's just so much character. The way they're built, the stories that come with them, a lot of that has translated over to why we build surfboards the way we do. When we first started thinking about building surfboards, wood was the natural material we chose. They have a very high strength to weight ratio. Wooden surfboards have the longest history of use in the surf world than any other material. People have been surfing wooden surfboards since kind of the first documented history of people riding waves. The board starts in CAD, where we take a 3D model, break down the shape, and kind of create frames and templates and all the inner parts of the board that we get cut on a CNC machine. We take those frames and we just pop them out, assemble the frame into kind of a skeleton. We go out to our lumber shed, pick a bunch of cedar, and bring them into our mill shop, put glue along the edges, clamp it all together into a panel. Everything's book matched, you have symmetry in the colors and texture of the wood. Cut your outline. Take our assembled frame, gently put it down right on top of the plank. Once that foundation is started, you're basically building up the three-dimensional shape, the outside part of the board, using lots of strips that kind of interlock and fit together. Every piece of wood is going to be different, and it's all going to react differently. There are frustrations with it, but I think that's one of the things that keeps it challenging. You learn to read the kind of what the grain lines are doing and what the color of the wood is telling you. Once those rails are cleaned up, we put our top planks on. It's a little bit like putting a lid on a box. It's like, this is it. Whatever's inside that board is staying inside that board. And by tensioning some rope, you can clamp the two together. It's like a time capsule. What makes our boards unique are they are built right here in York. They're built using material that grows right here in the state of Maine. They're built 100% by hand by local craftspeople and surfers. There's a lot of time that goes into these boards, between 40 and 60 hours start to finish. We wanted to build surfboards that were as hollow as they could be, but still be strong enough to work well. Too light and they don't surf well, but too heavy and they don't surf well. So there's a balance point there, and that's where we try to be. Taking the board off the rocker table once the top has gone on, that is by far one of my top favorite parts. It's just you and a shaping stand, a board, and a hand plane. Everything else is out of your view. It's simple, it's pleasurable, it's quiet. You can be with your thoughts and you can just kind of be present. There's something about taking a nice sharp edge tool to a beautiful piece of wood and feeling the curls coming off and knowing that every pass that you're making, you're kind of getting it closer and closer to what you have in mind. Once we've shaped it down and the board's looking like it's supposed to look like, it's time for it to go into the glassing room. 4-ounce fiberglass, laying it over the board, draping it over the edges, cutting it, applying epoxy, and on the board. Once both sides are lamb coated, it's time to put in the hardware. Drill and router and install the fin box. And on the other side, we drill and put in the leash plug and a vent. There's a lot of air just naturally inside the board, and that air wants to expand and contract with temperature changes. And that vent has a little piece of Gore-Tex fabric in it, and it allows air to kind of breathe both ways, but it doesn't allow water to get in. Once all that hardware is put in, it goes back into the glassing room. We brush a nice, beautiful, thick coat of epoxy over the whole surface, and that we call a gloss coat. That's supposed to look beautiful and glossy and shiny and flawless. You get to see that board come to life. Whatever the colors in the wood, they really come out. It just makes it look like candy. You just want to touch it and run your hands down it, and it's just kind of the icing on the cake. Once everything is hard, we put it into what we call the oven, get that epoxy to cure, really kind of bake it, and just get it to harden. Put in the fin, screw in the vent, and ship it out. We just love the idea of building something that's sustainable and long-lasting and made by hand. Kind of gives you a deeper connection to the product over something you might buy on a shelf. When a customer gets the board, they feel it. They 100% feel the amount of work and the amount of passion that went into the board. So I'm not really looking at hours and efficiency. We're looking at like doing it right and enjoying it as we go.
comes from, being gay is still a social taboo. The CEO of a Beijing-based internet company is on a mission to improve the lives of millions of gay men in China.
对于每一个 LGBT 人群来说，即使这个国家不允许你跟同性爱人结婚，但是你仍然要勇敢地去选择你自己的生活，你仍然应该拥有幸福生活的权利。
Ma's company Blue City runs an app and a website specifically for gay men. Blued is one of the biggest gay social networking apps in the world, with an estimated 30 million registered users. Unlike most other apps, Blued is more than just dating or hookups.
表达自己的情感，然后可以阅读相关的内容，然后可以进行一些娱乐，比如玩游戏啊，比如看直播等等。
Back in 2000, when Ma studied at a police school in northern China, he realized he didn't feel like everyone else.
因为他们都找女朋友，然后谈恋爱，但是我对长得好看的同性的男生，我反而觉得对我更有吸引力，所以那个时候我就到互联网上去找这样的一些资料，然后希望能够告诉我自己，我到底是谁。互联网上所有的信息都是负面的，都是错的，就是说同性恋要电击疗法，要被治疗，然后要吃药等等。
After visiting some foreign websites with different attitudes to homosexuality, Ma created his own site for a Chinese audience, encouraging people that
他们也是正常的，他们不用自卑，然后也不用自杀。
Even though attitudes towards homosexuals are slowly changing in China, it's still a social stigma. The virtual world of Blued, where members can be open about their sexuality, is for most a striking contrast to their real lives. This is live streaming, a function added to Blued in late 2015, right as the internet craze was starting to take off in China. Many self-made stars like Jin make decent amounts of money by receiving audiences' virtual currencies and gifts.
我们不是彼此的初恋，初恋这种事儿多不靠谱啊。
For Kyle and Klaus, a couple who have come out, live streaming on Blued means something different.
其实我经常会收到很多粉丝的一些互动的留言，就是类似就是说你们让我们看到了同志情侣之间的一些希望啊，我看到这样的留言我是很欣慰。
The government's rules for acceptable content online may shift quickly in China, with LGBT material in a grey area. Many companies feel the chill of the recent internet crackdown, but Blue City still runs as usual. Ma has won the Chinese government's trust by helping with HIV prevention among gay men. A third of the company's staff are dedicated to screening pornographic and politically sensitive content.
我不太多的愿意去对抗，我更多的愿意去对话，去改变他们的想法。我觉得这个可能在中国来说是更有效的。
In the past 5 years, Blue City has grown from a team of 7 people to a promising business with about 250 staff. Ma said the company earned over $15 million last year, mainly through advertising and selling virtual currencies to live streaming audiences. Now the company is expanding overseas.
我希望吧，通过我们的努力，Blued能够成为全球第一家在美国纳斯达克或者是纽交所上市的这样的同志互联网公司。
This is Rich Chiga. He's a Chinese rapper by way of Indonesia, and he's very popular on the internet. This is Joji. He's a Japanese-Australian singer, and he's also very popular on the internet. Plus, Joji invented the Harlem Shake meme. Let me say that again. This guy, Joji, in the blood bathtub, invented the Harlem Shake meme. But we'll come back to that. So Rich and Joji are both signed to 88rising, an entertainment company hoping to build a lasting global brand that will outlive singular moments of virality. They primarily create content combining Asian culture and hip-hop, a formula that apparently pleases the internet gods greatly. They've only been around for 18 months, but they're already putting up major label numbers.
I think that we have an unprecedented collective of talent, a group of like predominantly Asian artists, you know, really like making waves globally, which from an independent point of view as well.
88's founder, Sean Miyashiro, cut his teeth launching Vice's electronic music channel, Thumb. But quickly, Sean became interested in life beyond dance music.
I knew that after launching a whole content platform that I have kind of the ability and the know-how to do it again, but like for what was the question.
So Sean moved to the Bronx to start over and figure it out. He couldn't afford an office space, so he worked out of his car at the top of a grimy parking garage.
Everything kind of started here. If you look around, this is my environment. This is my serenity, really. 88rising was built here. Built on the grounds of LA Fitness, residence in a parking garage. I was living in the Bronx. I'm just like, damn, where the hell do I go? So I just come up here and I like, you know, I just kind of figure things out every single day. Being like, okay, what the hell is this thing? Coming here was kind of like my own kind of private office, basically. Like, to be honest, I would even go to the bathroom here. I would like take pisses here, you know what I mean? Like, it was, you know, it's just too far to go back down there. When I need Wi-Fi, I'd spend a good part of the day at Dunkin' Donuts. Hi, how are you? Can I get a chicken snack wrap?
Before 88rising officially launched, Sean caught a surprise break in the form of a Twitter friendship with a funny 16-year-old kid from Indonesia named Brian, who taught himself English by watching Rubik's Cube tutorial videos on YouTube. Seriously, that's true.
I thought his Twitter was genius, from the future, just crazy. And like just the shit that he was saying, like the memes he was making. But I didn't know that he rapped or anything like that. I really didn't, and he came up with that stick like 2 weeks later.
12 in the morning, pop shells for a living and baby gon' smell blood trail every minute, bro.
Dat Stick was Brian's first ever attempt at making a rap song, and it immediately went viral.
Everything was great about it, but the one thing that I noticed is the song was hard as hell. Just like everything about it, man. Just like, it was menacing, bro.
Soon after the video dropped, Brian signed with 88rising.
I'll FaceTime with Rich. Sorry for calling you Rich Chiga on my phone, Rich. Brian, he gets like super pissed off that he's saved in my phone as Rich Chiga. He's like, dude, am I not a human to you? What's good, bro?
What's good, brother?
How you doing?
Doing great. I did the sound check.
How was it?
It was tight. Hold it stick blocks, but you been a bitch, sucker thick cock.
So Brian could definitely rap, but some viewers understandably took offense at a Chinese kid satirizing rap cliches and calling himself Rich Chiga. But if a group of well-known rappers saw the video and genuinely liked it, that could at least help validate Brian as a legit hip-hop artist. Plus, it could be really funny.
It was just kind of an idea that I just had on the spot. Everything that rappers say is better and funnier and smarter and wittier. You know, and it's just more entertaining. We just edit it as tight as possible, put it up, and it really worked.
12 in the morning, pop shit.
Yo, this nigga got a pouch on and a Reebok pouch. This is the hardest nigga of all time.
You said when you come for a chigga like me, that was dope.
It's just lit, and I think people will take it as a joke at first, but it's like if he ran with that and kept doing more videos like that, it's just lit.
You know, I'd never been to America before, and like all of a sudden, just like I see like all the rappers that I listen to just like reacting to my stuff, and I was like, what? How did this happen?
The reaction video also went viral, and even led to a remix of Dat Stick featuring Wu-Tang's Ghostface.
I'll get on that track. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Really, on the remix?
Yeah. Oh, you know him?
And yeah, the remix went viral too. Brian has since acknowledged the misstep in his name and claims he may change it. But for the time being, he's still Rich Chigga to his fans. An ever-growing global audience, hungry for more releases from emerging talent around the world.
I didn't know that it was gonna be this impactful and this important to people, and I'm very thankful and blessed that it has. And every day now that I wake up, it's like it's just like a new mission every day.
A major part of that mission involves Joji. Remember the bloody bath guy? He's a former YouTube personality in the middle of a career transition.
The sound of this song, Will He, it's like a trap song that you can like slow dance to. Awkward prom shit, you know what I mean? I used to do crazy episodic internet videos. It was going well, and one day it was me and a few friends just in a room. We were casually chilling, and then someone plays the song, and it's brand new at the time. I happened to have a lot of costumes laying around, so I told the other guys, I was like, get in these costumes and let's just dance to it, like who cares? We were like, okay, let's just go crazy at the drop. So that video goes up, I go to sleep, and the next morning, everyone's doing it, like next morning. That taught me a lot about the internet, how people want to just be a part of something. And from that point on, something changed, and I was a little better at understanding demographics and people and what they want to see and what they want to hear. I was friends with a couple other artists who were affiliated with 88, and then I also started to realize that 88 is the bridge between Western and Asian entertainment, and I really wanted to be part of that.
Joji just released the In-Tongues EP, his first project as a serious artist.
Joji's In-Tongues record came out a couple weeks ago. It's #2 on Billboard on the R&B charts, which is crazy for independent release, and he's like a brand new artist.
And the success is even more impressive, knowing he went from creating something like this,
It's just Taco Bell, what could possibly go wrong?
to creating something like this, the newest music video for his song Demons. Tonight, Rich Chigga has a show in New York City. Tickets sold out in an hour.
I came here, I'm first online. I was here at 1.
I was the third person online. So why'd you get here so early?
Because I want to see Rich
I want to touch him. What do you guys think of Joji?
He's
That's my dad, son. Did you guys cop the new EP or like? Yeah. I woke up at 6 in the morning just to cop that shit. And then I listened to it, and that shit started making me cry.
This is actually kind of exciting. Every time, this never gets old. Like, you live online and social media, but like, there's nothing like just being with the people.
More often than not, viral success happens by accident. And then after an appearance on Ellen or Jimmy Kimmel, the creator's star power fizzles out. But 88 Rising has figured out how to turn potential gimmicks into brands with an actual following that keeps coming back for the next thing.
Oh shit!
So keep an eye out for 88's next move. But more than likely, it won't be covered on network television or terrestrial radio. Although, as they've already proven, nowadays that really doesn't matter.
Online retailer Farfetch is betting it can shape the future. This is its concept store, showcasing the latest in retail tech.
How do you capture all of that fantastic information that you gather in store with customers, touch and feel products? And we created a concept called the Connected Rail. And this is using a combination of RFID and ultrasound. The RFID signal recognizes the product, and the ultrasound recognizes the movement. Take the product off, and then you'll start to see your products appear. And essentially, it's like online browsing behavior. Whichever products you touch and pick up in the store are automatically sent to your app. This is effectively what you've created is your in-store wish list. In the middle, you'll see essentially a hologram of the product. What the customer sees, they control the experience on a touch device. What this allows the customer to do is take elements of products and then add their own style to it. Right, so this is the connected mirror. So in this example, I see my products. I select a coat, and that's tried it, and it's slightly too big for me. So what I can do is choose an alternative size and send a request to the sales associate, and they'll bring that size to me in the fitting room mirror. You'll also see that we've got some product recommendations here. Crucially, the sales associate's able to push items into the mirror from their device. If you wanted to, you could simply use the mirror and pay and go. Your items would then be packed and dispatched to you afterwards.
Do you want me to turn you so you're looking outwards? Yes, please. How about there? First time we came out with B, Jade said, "It feels like I've been released from prison." Do you want these, Mrs?
Definitely.
Definitely. Right.
Yeah.
And she could say hello to everybody, people she hadn't seen for months.
It's
Hi, it's Jade.
Oh. So you can talk to Jade through this.
Hi, Katie. She's there.
Hi.
Every time anyone's seen her, they want to know why she's there. And it's kind of the opposite of when you're in a wheelchair and people see you and they kind of go, oh, should I look? I don't know what the right protocol is. When there's a tiny robot with its bright little eyes going around just looking happy everywhere, it really opens you up for conversation.
You've got some friends here, look.
Hiya! When I saw her for the first time, I remember thinking, this is going to change things. This is one of those points where if this was a book, this would be the cliffhanger. have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which means that I have a lot of dislocations, there's a lot of pain, and a lot of seizures and whatnot. So I can end up on my own in my room for long periods of time.
Yeah, my love.
A lot of the time, with a condition like my own, of course there's the pain, and the pain is bad, and the dislocations are bad, and the seizures and being in paralysis and never knowing whether you're going to be able to wake up properly tomorrow, that's bad. But what's worse still is being able to count the number of people you see a day on one hand. Are you ready? Sure am, I'm just hoping the connection's going to stay.
Yeah, me too. Alright, here we go.
When you're used to just the same little metre by metre and a half window every day, and you've been there for months, being able to just see the sky from somewhere else, or the tops of trees, or a sign, is incredible. Or being able to have that kind of chat in the car that most people will probably take for granted.
I'm going to go past Grandma and Grandad so you can give them a wave. Now, if Jade is particularly seizure-y, she can still take part. And that's brilliant, really, because before she would just be left in a bed or in the house with just her carers. It's quite a small world, that.
Right, so there's one of her. Here, this costume I'm busy making at the moment. When I'm not on bed rest and I'm not just wearing pyjamas all the time, I enjoy being able to dress as different characters and go to Comic Cons and that kind of thing, because it just lets me show a different side of myself, and it's a bit of fun. If you can't go out that often, you've got to enjoy it when you do.
Was that? Good.
It's one of those weird things where I want to not have to use B because I want to be well enough to be able to go to those places myself. Like, it really makes a big difference to me to be able to go into school. But the thing is, with my condition fluctuating all of the time, I can't go into school reliably. Written it out bigger on the board. Thank you. Today's the first day that I've been in school via B, and so far it's interesting. Still a few little things that we need to work out, but for the most part I think it's going fairly well. And it's brilliant because I can really tell the difference between today and yesterday. How yesterday I forced myself to go into school when I wasn't very well, and I was really tired afterwards and ended up having loads of seizures. Whereas today I've been able to do all of the work, I've been able to keep a clear head and not be ill, which means I'm able to be more focused on my schoolwork.
So there is my first step of working, is to simplify root 8. The algebra test is next week.
Now I'm trying to make friendships which I'll be able to maintain with B. Before that, I've ended up letting people down quite often. B gives me hope, yeah. She's just always there. And if I can't do something, she can. And if I need sort of assistance to be able to make commitments, then she's there, and she means that I feel like a more valuable person because I'm more reliable.
When it debuted, the 4G wireless we have today allowed people for the first time to hit the road and explore unknown places with only a smartphone for directions. When 5G arrives, it could enable driverless cars to take us there as well. 5G stands for 5th generation mobile networks or wireless systems. It's insanely fast and can accommodate a lot more connected devices. But the reason it's being called revolutionary is because 5G will allow connected devices to speak to each other as well as people.
Right now we're living in a world where really it's a one-way experience.
That's Bloomberg tech reporter Ian King.
The network talks to your phone, you look at your phone and access data, then you send something back to the network. What we're being told about 5G is that really for the first time we're going to see machines communicating with each other over mobile networks in a meaningful way.
5G could end up being 100 times faster than what we have now, with speeds that could reach 20 gigabits per second. In plain English, that means downloading a full-length HD movie in seconds. 5G will also increase total bandwidth, which we will need in order to accommodate the growing Internet of Things. We're talking about the class of devices like internet-connected refrigerators, thermostats, dog collars, but 5G will enable many, many more.
Things like your utility network, factories, where machines are just sat there not connected at all. Suddenly they're all going to be connected. Suddenly we're going to be able to have real-time monitoring. Other things like cars, like utility poles, like your light, the light poles.
But perhaps the biggest advance will be a huge reduction in communication lag time, known as latency. A network of driverless cars will need the speed of 5G to ping each other multiple times per second to avoid collisions. Near instantaneous data transfers could allow doctors to perform surgery remotely with a robotic scalpel. So how will all this work? First, you need to improve network density.
And that's just a fancy word for saying you put more towers out there. What we're being told is that's not actually the case with 5G.
The idea is 5G will not only use the existing mobile spectrum, but also tap into higher frequencies called millimeter waves. Millimeter waves can carry more data, but only travel short distances. This may mean you'll see a lot more of these base stations around town. And the new towers may have as many as 100 antenna ports, compared to about a dozen on 4G cell towers. So when will we get 5G? Getting 5G ready is expected to cost providers $275 billion over 7 years in the US alone. Look for the first 5G service to pop up in big cities sometime in 2019.
The cubicle represents a tyranny. It confines your imagination, your thoughts, into a small physical area. Imagine pretty much every software engineer or finance person being able to, disconnect from their desk and look at holographic monitors on a beach and doing their work from there. That's not going to be science fiction. It's the modern office place.
Silicon Valley is all about building the future. A startup called Meta thinks it's getting there first, thanks to a big bet that it's made on augmented reality.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to Meta.
Thank you.
Call it a 360-degree office where you can spatialize your thoughts as part of your workflow for education, architecture, design, engineering, etc.
People often mix up augmented reality with virtual reality. VR totally blocks your ability to see or hear the real world. AR overlays holograms onto what you already see. Meta has tried to make its version of the workspace feel familiar.
You grab the hologram instead of using a controller or a mouse, and your brain already knows how to do it. In other words, we've designed an operating system that humanity has always known how to use. So you can see this eyeball, which is, by the way, photorealistic. You can see my hand is occluding the eyeball, and now the eyeball is occluding my hand, right? You see those two circles? They get small, and then they turn into this glowing white ball, and then I can move my hand around supernaturally. I can do this with two hands and rotate the thing. I can stretch it. I can throw it back right into the shelving system, and that's all you have to learn to become a modern worker.
And to prove this, the employees at Meta have started to get rid of their computer monitors, trading them in for Meta's augmented reality headsets. Myron thinks that in less than a decade, we'll all be just wearing strips of glass that can project holograms.
In the early 80s, everybody had computers on their desktop, but no one was using them because they had a lot of work to do. So they were still using typewriters. And at some point, the CEO took all the typewriters away and everybody was forced to use their computers. So it's very exciting to see a new generation of technology, a new paradigm.
I consider us like pioneers in the holographic wild. I'm pulling up my browser with my hands and sending out emails to colleagues and just kind of really acclimating to the new environment.
Now you're putting on my computer, essentially. Our digital lives live on our phones. We have all of our pictures and notes and all these kinds of things. So why don't you write yourself a little sticky note? I like it. And go ahead and just take your fist right over the top of the sticky note and close your fist. And now...
Oh, what? Meta's own transition to augmented reality has run into plenty of unexpected problems. And it's still going to be a while before you'll start to see these devices in your office. But I think it's a future worth waiting for.
If we could see these holograms between us, we will have been able to share our work with one another more naturally, more efficiently, and more productively than ever before. Humanity will have evolved slightly.
This is Hatsune Miku, Japan's sensational virtual pop star. She's released over 100,000 songs in multiple languages and performed sold-out concerts around the world. Her image has appeared in games, on TV, in car races, and is even etched on the side of a Japanese space rocket.
I came for Hatsune Miku, Carlos.
She's Lady Gaga's favorite digital pop star and opened shows for her in the US 3 years ago. Tens of thousands of fans attended her exhibition and live shows near Tokyo recently.
理想のアイドルっていうと、どの曲でもミクはすごい綺麗に歌ってくれる。
她没有缺点啊，没有任何让我们感到不开心的一些新闻。
She's everything to everybody. That's probably why she's so popular.
Miku's creator Hiroyuki Ito and his Sapporo-based company have been developing the virtual diva for over 10 years.
初音ミクとは、キャラクターとしてすごく、YouTube とかで検索すると、たくさんの初音ミクが出てくるんですけども、元々の、初音ミクのその原点は歌声を合成する、ソフトウェアなんです。
Both the software and character are named Hatsune Miku, meaning the first sound of the future. Originally based on Yamaha's Vocaloid technology, Miku the software has a sound bank containing voice samples and a huge array of tools. You input the melody and lyrics, then Miku the character sings them. To date, Krypton has sold 120,000 software licenses at $200 each to fans around the world who use it to create numerous songs and share them online. Some of the fan-created songs are chosen to be part of Miku's concerts, for which they're paid a royalty fee.
もともと初音ミクっていうその、存在自体がそのボトムアップって言いますか、中にはアマチュアクリエイターじゃなくて今もうすでに、プロになって活躍している方もいらっしゃるんですけども。
The company also has other revenue streams. It makes money from merchandising, licensing deals, and concert ticket sales. According to the real-life musicians who perform with Hatsune Miku, the virtual pop star is interesting and surprising.
今年で3年ぐらい、ちょうど3年ぐらいやってきて、ライブも数十本、数百本だったの。そういうことが人によって起こせるためのそういう器みたいな感じになってきて。初音ミクらしさって僕はあんまりない。初音ミクって何だってありっていうか。
For Ito, Miku has the potential to change the way we think about music.
そういう新しいそのテクノロジーによって新しい音楽のあり方っていうものを模索していきたいと思っていました。
And for her fans, it goes even further.
初音ミクって魂がないので、だからみんな魂を作り上げるために存在しています。
Now, there are a lot of fitness gadgets out there. In my quest to get fit, I tested 17 of them over the last few months. At least one personal trainer I know was a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, I've been watching these new technologies come to the market for almost as long as I've been a personal trainer. They're just tricks and tropes. They're not much different than the Bowflex machines or, to be honest, the original Jane Fonda workout video.
But some of these gadgets that are just coming to the market do so much more than what they used to do, just tracking your activities. Out of all of them, this chest strap was my favorite. It comes with a robot coach that points to the future, one where you might not need a human trainer at all. And it works like this. You wear the chest strap so that it can read your heart rate, and that connects to Move's free app that talks to you.
Welcome to Move Heart Rate Hit Outdoor Running. Let's get moving and warm up in Zone 2.
Move's computerized coach tells you what to do at that exact moment, whether you're running outside or you're doing body weight exercises indoors.
Swing your arms faster to get your legs moving quicker. Let's crush this round.
And by reading your heart rate, she knows exactly how hard you're working. She keeps you honest.
Way to go, you are in the target zone. Keep pushing, you're almost at the end of the round. Don't give up.
I've been running for 7 years now, and my biggest problem is that I never push myself hard enough. I end up going on the same slow, comfortable 30-minute jog, but the Move HR Burn blasted me out of that rut. By the end of these half-hour exercises, I was drenched in sweat in a way that I never am when I work out alone. Training with a real person is great, whether that's your group instructor or your coach or your personal trainer, but humans, they're expensive. For the rest of us, this $60 gadget is all you need.
what does it take to change the world? A big army? A cure to a pandemic? A revolution? All of these take either a lot of people, thousands of hours, or massive amounts of space. But for Julian Assange, all he needs is one room, an internet connection, and the world will listen. Assange is located here, and more specifically, right here. And from that location, he's posted government secrets, classified documents, and leaked emails from some of the world's most powerful people. And in doing so, has been labeled a hero, a villain, a nihilist, and everything in between. This is how an Australian programmer sequestered in the Ecuadorian embassy in London became one of the most influential and notorious people in the world. Born in 1971 in Townsville, Australia, Assange has always been on the move. Living in over 30 homes by the time he was in his mid-teens, Assange, along with his mother and half-brother, finally settled down in Melbourne. His introduction to hacking started at 16 when he was given a Commodore 64, which he attached to a modem. He attended the University of Melbourne, where he studied programming, physics, and mathematics. He never graduated, but that doesn't mean he didn't get an education. By 1991, Assange hacked into the Pentagon, US Navy, and other branches of the US government. In 1996, he was caught by the Australian Federal Police and charged with over 30 counts of hacking and computer-related crimes. He didn't get any jail time, but he was fined $2,100.
I think the first taste of what would come later was the hacking that he did as a young programmer, and that really sort of foreshadowed a healthy skepticism of the use and abuse of technology by governments.
That's Vernon Silver.
I'm a reporter for Bloomberg's investigations team.
Assange's youth as a hacker laid the foundation for him to start WikiLeaks in 2006. But what is WikiLeaks? It's a website that posts unfiltered, usually classified documents. What separates it from every other media outlet is that they have no editorial hierarchy. With a publication like the New York Times, information comes in, they take that information, package it, then disseminate it for the public to see. WikiLeaks, however, cuts out the middleman.
WikiLeaks gathers information, most of it given to them anonymously. So what they're doing is really very simple. They get the information in one end from who gives it to them and out the other with sometimes minimal interference. Julian Assange is the leader of that, the mastermind, the creator, and really, because he thinks of it as a journalistic enterprise, the editor-in-chief.
But every story starts with a source, and Assange has some unconventional sources.
Julian Assange does not hack as far as we know. He is the recipient of people who are either insiders who give him secret documents or hack emails from a foreign power.
That's Eli Lake.
I am a columnist for Bloomberg.
And there was no source bigger for Assange than Chelsea Manning. He used to be known as U.S. soldier Bradley Manning. In 2010, Manning provided Assange and WikiLeaks with hundreds of thousands of leaked government documents. WikiLeaks quietly began releasing the documents in February of 2010, then made big headlines in April by posting what is now known as the collateral murder video.
Come on, fire!
It was a vivid, graphic video. It changed the debate on the Iraq War, and importantly, it put WikiLeaks on the map when they put it online, and they couldn't be ignored at that point.
And those leaks were just the beginning. They went on to post more than 90,000 leaked documents known as the Afghan war logs, 390,000 documents known as the Iraq war logs, and 250,000 private messages between diplomats called cables in what is now known as Cablegate. These leaks were met with very real ethical questions.
The problem with publishing those cables was that a number of confidential sources for U.S. diplomats who faced real danger when their names were exposed.
Then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton drove the point home that
every country, including the United States, must be able to have candid conversations about the people and nations with whom they deal.
Shortly after Cablegate, the Swedish government issued an arrest warrant for Assange on allegations of rape and molestation. He claimed the allegations were fabricated to get him extradited to the United States, a claim the US government denied. Either way, Assange's next move was
to seek refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy, which really was the beginning of the new chapter in his life and what we're dealing with now, which is him being stuck in London.
What was supposed to be an office in an embassy is now Assange's self-imposed prison to this very day. But that doesn't mean he's slowed down. Since being trapped at the embassy, WikiLeaks has released files about Guantanamo Bay prisoners, Syrian political figures, and the draft to the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And then came the 2016 US election.
Thousands of leaked emails showed Democratic Party officials possibly plotting against Bernie Sanders in his race against Hillary Clinton.
Over the course of 68 days, WikiLeaks released 20,000 confidential Democratic National Committee emails. In terms of the presidential race, if you look right here, when Assange released the first batch of emails, Trump actually takes his first lead against Clinton.
I think we've had enough of the Clintons, in all fairness.
Once WikiLeaks started exposing secrets of the Democratic Party, Julian Assange became a hero to many on the right. Public opinion kind of flip-flopped.
WikiLeaks!
From the emails, we now know Hillary Clinton's campaign manager makes risotto, and also how the DNC squashed Bernie Sanders' campaign. One thing we don't know is who gave Assange the stolen emails in the first place.
Many leading Democrats say they suspect it was the Russians. They released an analysis from a private cybersecurity firm that had said it was the Russians.
But Assange claims
our source is not the Russian government and it is not a state party.
So this is where we stand today. The public still doesn't know who provided the emails to WikiLeaks. Meanwhile, Assange is still running WikiLeaks and still releasing documents. In March 2017, he started publishing documents from the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence called Vault.
The CIA, the agency charged with finding and keeping our top secrets, can't keep its own secrets.
As long as Assange has a connection to the world, no government secret will be too far from exposure.
Julian Assange is still in the embassy. Maybe he'll leave, maybe he won't. Kind of regardless, his work has been done. He's changed the way people think about their governments, about their own secrets, about their own hackability, and really the world has changed because of him.
To expose everything you won't admit. And action! This entire video is based on a true story. When I do like motivational speeches or even tell myself like, love yourself and you should love yourself.
This is Lily Singh, but to fans all over the world, she's the YouTube star Superwoman.
What up everyone, it's your girl, Superwoman. I know we can change the world for the better, one positive day at a time.
My parents now know what I do. They didn't know what I did for a long time in the beginning of my career. I was just making videos in my room, they had no idea.
Mom, Dad, have you seen my keys? I can't find them anywhere. Because you're always on phone.
Until someone called them, like a family member from another part of Canada was like,
Canada,
is your daughter making videos? And my mom was like, I don't know, Lily, are you making videos?
Just making videos grew into an entire career. Today, Lily's YouTube channel has some 12 million subscribers, over 2 billion views, and guest stars like Michelle Obama, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Seth Rogen.
I think a lot of young girls are raised to believe that you're gonna go to school and then graduate and then get married and then get a job and then have kids.
And Lily was on that path, all the way through a psychology degree at York University in Toronto. But when she started thinking about
I tried to figure out my life and it wasn't working in that straight line.
It was 2010 and YouTube was only 5 years old.
I thought nothing of YouTube. I was probably the last person in my circle of friends to discover YouTube. And I remember when I did, I thought, this is so strange. There's people making videos in their rooms and other people are watching them.
So she figured,
and I wanted to be creative and happy.
She didn't know how to edit video or write scripts, so she winged it.
It was so bad and so cringe. And my expectation was literally nothing. I was like, I'm gonna put this video up, a couple of my friends are gonna watch it, probably make fun of me, and that's gonna be the end of this. The second and third video came from, wait, 70 people watched my first one, can I?
Just kept coming. Lily had found an audience.
A lot of the comments were, oh my God, there's a brown girl on YouTube.
More specifically, Indian. Lily's parents immigrated to Canada from India, and Lily was born and raised in Scarborough, near Toronto.
My home life was awesome. My parents, even though I portrayed them to be quite strict in my videos.
Oi Lily, where's the rest of your skirt, huh? I teach you like this to walk around like this, showing everything to everyone?
They actually aren't like that at all. They're pretty modern and pretty cool.
Your dress is short, don't know what for.
And were pretty lenient with me. I mean, I got away with a lot of things. I was a brat. I was a brat.
She had a different idea of what she wanted out of life than other kids. In a grade school graduation slideshow, her classmates said they wanted to be lawyers and doctors.
And then I came up and I was like, rapper.
Making out with your friends, man. But then you say that you hate hoes.
I could just feel my parents being like, why?
Because that's just not something women really did in the Singh family.
I know there was a ton of people that weren't happy about my birth being a female, so I think, and that's some real-ish, but it's a real thing. The best thing I could have done to prove to so many people that didn't want my mom to have a daughter was to become Superwoman.
What up everyone, it's your girl, Superwoman.
It was the name of Lily's favorite hip-hop song by Lil Mo featuring Fabulous.
I love the song so much because it was one of the only songs at the time that was an empowering female song, where Lil Mo's going on about like, I will save guys with my superpowers, and I will save girls with my superpowers, and I am the Superwoman. I thought, this name that I've had for so long that empowered me when I was younger, I'm gonna make this my screen name.
Maybe there should be a new series.
Superwoman didn't just burst onto the scene overnight with a viral video. It was a steady climb fueled by hard work.
The moment that I thought this is going somewhere and this could be a career was the first time I performed internationally. It was in India. And it was the first time where I was truly across the world and people knew my videos.
Singh has transformed herself from a bratty kid to an internet personality to a media mogul. She starred in a feature film, A Trip to Unicorn Island, in 2016. And her book, How to Be a Boss, hit the New York Times bestseller list in 2017 while she was on a 30-city international tour. Lily started out with the goal of getting millions of subscribers and financial security.
Hurry the hell up!
But after surpassing those goals, success has new meaning.
I've really come to terms with the fact that my definition of success is what's the best legacy I can leave behind. And it's not the number of views, the number of subscribers, it is the number of people that can say, this girl changed my life or changed something in my life positively.
CTE is often found in the brains of deceased athletes, military veterans, and others with a history of repetitive brain trauma. Hundreds have donated their brains to the VA Boston University Concussion Legacy Foundation Brain Bank.
This is a former NFL player who died in his early 70s, and this...
Dr. Ann McKee dissects these brains.
The hippocampus and the mammillary bodies are very important for memory. I can see that they're slightly affected.
McKee recently dissected the brain of former New England Patriots player Aaron Hernandez, who was convicted of murder and later committed suicide.
You'll see right away that the brain is
McKee says Hernandez's severe case of CTE impacted his decision-making, depression, and ability to control rage and aggression. Right now, she thinks we're underestimating how many people have CTE.
We were able to distinguish between CTE and controls and CTE and Alzheimer's disease. The next question is, can we do this in the blood and can we do this in living people? And we aren't there yet with those answers.
But the need for a diagnosis in the living is motivating companies such as Quanterix in Lexington, Massachusetts, to work faster on technology that could diagnose concussions and CTE in as few as 30 minutes. Kevin Rosovsky is the CEO.
It's like a high-powered microscope. And so by doing that, we can see little biomarkers that you couldn't see before in the blood.
Quanterix received a grant from the NFL and just went public. Since then, its stock is up more than 40%. The company sells a machine called Simoa for $175,000 to other biotechs, hospitals, and researchers.
And for the first time in history, we're able to see brain health in blood, and that's a major breakthrough, and that's leading to less invasive testing, and we've already been able to see evidence of concussions, and there's the beginning evidence of being able to see the accumulated effect of concussions.
Quanterix is also trying to detect Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis, and ALS. Rosovsky says he thinks diagnosing concussions will be easier than diagnosing CTE.
Diagnosing CT in the living probably is a couple years away. We're real excited to see the progress, but reducing some of that work into actual tests in a laboratory takes time. There's regulatory approvals, there's a lot of red tape that you have to go through.
Also in this race to diagnose CTE in the blood are Athlon Medical and Exosome Sciences, and New York's Mount One step in a series of questions for those with serious head trauma. There's still no cure for CTE.
Even if we had a great idea for a treatment, there's no way to test whether it's effective or not. So that's the enormous advance that we'll get if we can develop a biomarker for this disease.
In Boston, Ann Mostu, Bloomberg News.
Wine is a $300 billion global industry where one person's opinion can make fortunes or break them. An advocate. For 3 decades, he dominated as the world's most influential wine critic. Now Parker's protege is building an empire of his own. Antonio Galloni runs Venice.
Antonio, tell me, what are you trying to build at Venice?
Well, at Venice, we started with the idea in 2013 of building a world in reviews. On Delectable, we have 7 million user reviews. Through Delectable, we also have a partnership with Whole Foods and several other partnerships that we can't announce just yet. And when you put that all together, what we have is something that no other company in our space can even come close to.
Do you think of yourself as the next Parker?
Not at all.
Why?
Because Steve's influences, and I've never wanted to be a replica of somebody else because a replica is never as good as the original. Bob is a genius, fantastic, one of a kind. We're going to be something completely different, and I have no desire to be some version of somebody else.
Different in what way?
Every decision that I've made at this company is completely partners. All of my senior people are locked into the company. They all have equity or they have a path to equity based on business results. That's something that we never had at Parker. Our benefits are world class. And everything that we've done at Venice is completely different from that model. When Steve Tanzer, who is the most experienced active wine critic in America, one of vineyards, wants to work with us, that says something. When Neil Martin, who's a superstar wine critic with enormous experience in Bordeaux and Burgundy and the former lead critic at The Advocate, wants to come and be part of our team, that says something.
You make it sound like the Wine Advocate was a disaster as a company and a miserable experience as an employee.
No, it was great because I got to work with the phone all the time and he gave me great advice.
Can anyone's palate dominate the wine criticism business the way Parker's did? And should anyone's palate dominate it the way his did?
I just think the world is very different today. You know, it's just a totally different world. It's probably not healthy to have a single person. Yeah, that's probably not the healthiest thing in the world. But I think that there's just such an opportunity right now with social media and technology to reach such a massive number of people that I think it's possible that 1 or 2 people will actually have more influence than Bob Parker did, because they will. Again, this goes back to your first question, not trying to ever beat this record. And then somebody comes along, you know, it's like tennis, Pete Sampras. Nobody's ever going to win as many Grand Slams. Now you have 2 guys who are ahead of that and 1 knocking on the door. And so I think a lot like that.
You're a former investment banker. How does that inform and influence what you're doing and what you've done?
My generation has had to deal with a lot more challenges. That's why I think we're actually much better poised for the future. My first job in finance, the first thing that happened was long-term capital, 1998. Then the tech bubble melted down. Then there was a mutual fund trading scandal. You know, that was all like within about 5 or 6 years. And these are the things that I had to deal with as a young executive. My peers who were 20 years older didn't know how to manage in crisis. They'd only seen Black Monday. Generation or a little bit younger have actually had to deal with a lot more crises. I think that's actually good for learning how to cope with challenges in business.
From the outside, it kind of looks like you're trying to demolish the house that Parker built, right? You left the Wine Advocate.
Yeah.
You merged with one of his, are you?
I think what that says is that all the best people want to work at our company, and that's really what we strive to create starting in 2013. We wanted to create a world-class company that would attract the best-in-class talent, and not just on the content side, on the technology side, on the digital side, our office, and at every level, what we're trying to, we only hire superstars, and we're looking for those superstars.
Professional wrestling, there's something called a swerve.
Hulk Hogan has betrayed WCW!
Some examples. These tag team partners are called babyfaces, or the good guys. Then one of them swerves when he super kicks his tag team partner in the head, quickly assuming the role of the bad guy, or what the wrestling world calls the heel.
Are you kidding? What a despicable act that was!
Or a match is almost lost when, what's that? The superstar wrestler appears out of nowhere sprinting down the aisle to save the match.
That's the Warriors music! That's the Ultimate Warrior!
That's a swerve. So it should go as no surprise that World Wrestling Entertainment, known as the WWE, the most popular brand of sports entertainment in the world, is prepared for any swerves that come their way. So here's the story of how the WWE learned to see the swerve coming. So I spoke to Bloomberg reporters Felix Gillette.
I'm a writer for Bloomberg News for the global business team.
And Kim Basine.
And I'm the U.S. luxury reporter at Bloomberg.
To find out exactly how the WWE is positioning itself for an all-out global invasion, which starts with a massive change to their lucrative pay-per-view model.
WWE basically pioneered the pay-per-view model on cable. I remember as a kid when the pay-per-view events came up, all of our friends would scramble around and try and get one of the parents to pay for it.
But in 2014, they took a huge risk.
They saw a little bit sooner than some of the other end, away from cable and satellite television and towards on-demand streaming video apps. They made this risky decision, in essence cannibalizing that pay-per-view model, which they had essentially built.
And after some early turbulence, it's working. Roughly 1.5 million people are paying $9.99 a month for the WWE app, making it the 5th most popular streaming OTT service. This adapt-or-die approach is in the WWE's DNA. Over the past 30 years, the company always seems to think 2 steps ahead. In the early 90s,
WWE was at its most threatened when Ted Turner took them on with WCW,
which stands for World Championship Wrestling. And back then, the WCW
changed its product from a family-friendly kind of cartoonish style to this really raw. That's why they called their show Raw. It was this raw style of wrestling.
With violent, outrageous, reality-inspired plot lines and aggressive personas.
From a 16-foot ladder!
And they won that fight against Ted Turner, and they bought WCW.
The early 2000s ushered in an era of testosterone-driven programming aimed at the red-blooded American male.
Bra and panties matches, and people smash each other over their head with like barbed wire bats and things like that.
Until 2015, when WWE fans started a hashtag #GiveDivas_a_chance. Since then, WWE has hired 40 more female wrestlers, and that growing cast of female characters was part of a much larger plan.
They started to try to appeal to a broader set of people.
Let's attract more female fans. And after we've attracted more female fans, let's attract more international fans. They're broadening their base, and that in large part to make it more advertising friendly.
And not just friendly to advertisers.
They're trying to build up their fan base in China. They're trying to build up their fan base in Europe. They, already have a pretty good fan base in India.
India is a place where they already have an established wrestling culture.
Because of the gigantic Indian wrestler, the Great Khali. But there's still a lot of work to do. While the WWE set a revenue record in 2017, only 30% of it is coming from an overseas audience. And there's one person whose responsibility is to grow that number.
The buck eventually stops at Vince McMahon, no matter what's happening within WWE.
Yeah, he's a very controlling guy, and it's a very, very, very tightly scripted company.
And that goes all the way down the board to big stars' entrance music. And their outfits and things like that.
So with a CEO like McMahon always planning 2 moves ahead and an aggressive push into multiple international markets, a big issue is money.
It's hard to do all those things simultaneously without committing a huge amount of capital to it.
And that's where the WWE becomes
WWE is they could benefit by being acquired by a bigger technology or telecom country, Fox.
So with a market cap of $2.8 billion, the advantage of owning 100% of their own content, and a rapid consolidation spreading throughout the entertainment industry, it looks like the WWE is well positioned even if there are swerves ahead.
Our world is changing. Every day, it changes a little faster. Some changes are too small to see. Others, too big to handle. Sometimes, change feels slow. So slow, we don't even notice. Other times, it happens all at once, and we can't keep up. For our climate, change means many things. And between too small to see and too big to handle, there is a whole world of difference. The clock is ticking. This is Bloomberg Green.
Saving the seas. This week, the deep-sea diver who stopped writing the ocean's obituary to find a solution. Enric Sala tells us why the next 10 years...
See, he's trying to get them to clean them up and fix them, and came to the realization you can't trust big pharma. It's like nuclear power sounds great till they keep letting them all melt down. But this isn't vaccines. This is something entirely different, reprogramming your body, mad scientist behavior. But I look back on this, they said they didn't do animal testing, but they've done a bunch of mRNA testing, Gates and others have, with coronaviruses on pigs, on geese, on other animals. So why do they want to skip the animal testing? Because I looked at the old animal testing. I'm not a medical doctor. I just looked at it and it showed massive problems and a lot of long-term problems as well in lab rats and things that were tested on. So Dr. Tenpenny, 2 segments left. You're gracious to be here with us. drtenpenny.com. Get in. You started getting into it before the break. The 10 ways you've identified this foreign, bizarre reprogramming witch's brew. And like you said, if I'm in a restaurant, I order a steak, they go back into the kitchen, they cook the steak and bring it to me. So technically, I'm not cooking the steak, but it gives the order to the ribosomes, or as you were saying, to then go make the steak. So technically, the DNA can change. But if we just say, oh, this is changing DNA, they can then technically say, oh, there's no such thing as chemtrails. Yeah, we're doing geoengineering. We don't call it chemtrails. So we call it chemtrails. They then discredit it. Same thing here. We say, oh, it's changing the DNA. No, it's telling the body to do that. So please continue, Dr. Tenpenny.
Well, I don't have time to get into all 10 of these, but there is information on some of our websites, and there's a whole bunch of material that'll be coming out within the next week. Our boot camp just launched last week, and we've got over 500 people in our boot camp, and they're going through all of this individually with us. But I want to drill down on just a couple that I think I can explain pretty quickly so people listening can get their head wrapped around it. The first one is that the coding around the mRNA. So the mRNA, actually that little strip of genetic material, is pretty unstable. So in order to get it injected into your body, they had to put a wrapping, a lipid coating around the outside of it. So think of it like they put it in a bubble. And in that coating of that bubble is something called polyethylene glycol. Polyethylene glycol, we've been sensitized to that through many, many different products that have been used since the... Well, that's one of the ingredients, but we don't generally drink antifreeze. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of other products that contain polyethylene glycol. I'm not usually a big fan of Wikipedia, but if you want to see a really down and dirty quick list of all the things that have polyethylene glycol in it, go to Wikipedia and put in polyethylene glycol. You'll be shocked, because the medical literature says that people now have allergies or sensitizations to polyethylene glycol that's somewhere between 70 and 72% of the population. Wow. And so when you get polyethylene glycol, when you're sensitive to that, that means you're allergic to it. When you inject this shot that has this polyethylene glycol on the coating on the outside of it, that is what is leading to anaphylactic reactions, shock, and death.
And I wouldn't interrupt, doctor, but I have to. I was told by high-level medical sources that this is a binary weapon, to look into it, that it causes autoimmune problems. And you just said binary weapon. If we already have this propylene glycol in us, it's in most of us, we're already allergic to us. They then inject it, that's a binary weapon, isn't it?
It's sort of like if you were bitten by bee stings, by several bees, maybe 10 years ago, and now you've been sensitized, your immune system's been primed, and then you can get another bee sting and you go into anaphylactic shock. So it's the same thing